Hello everyone, I am Mama Himura. I'm joined today by a lovely panel today. We're going to start today with Ratchet. Hello everyone, I am Mama Himura. I'm joined today by
Hello.
a lovely...
Sorry, I didn't realize if I was muted or not.
Today we're also joined by Mellow on line 1.
Hello, it's my fault that Ratchet was busy, he was sending me something.
And we're also joined today by Lord Crocosquirrel.
Yo, how goes the war, folks?
Today we are joined by a very special guest, Mr. Frantic Dreamer.
Hello.
We're going to talk about his game, or rather his former game, Sullen, and let's just see where the conversation goes. Today, Sullen was a game developed by a two-person team, Spunk and Mr. Frantic Dreamer himself. On June 16th, 2020, somewhere around 40,000 keys got revoked because of Mr. Frantic Dreamer here. They were a security risk, and he blamed a business partner for illegally creating the keys to begin with, as reported by Sentinels of the Store member Unknown Nomad. He captured a screenshot of the reasoning behind the key revocations, which I did not think to put it on OBS to be ahead of time. That was my fault, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, we can all agree that revoking keys that ever existed in the game hurts consumers in a way that the community isn't likely to forgive or forget. Starting with Mr. Crocosquirrel, let's open up discussion.
Alright. What do I call you there, FD? You call me Dreamer or Frantic, or what do you want me to call you here?
Well, Frantic would be nice.
Alright, Frantic it is. So can you give us a rundown about Business Partner and what went on there?
Like, first of all, I know, like, the revoking keys was the worst decision I've ever made. First of all, I'm so sorry, because, I cannot undo that.
Well, you could issue new keys, but that would probably not go very well.
Well, yeah, like...
Is it okay if I can jump in here?
Go right ahead.
Yeah, cool. I do just want to add in, I did see, Frantic, that you did put a post out on the discussion forums offering reimbursements of keys if people contacted you with the receipts of the platforms that you did, that they received the keys from. I will throw that in. So we did opt to send them out.
Well, I tried to do that, but Valve did not give me the keys. Like, after some time, the key policy, I think, changed. So they did not give me enough keys, so I couldn't replace all of them. So that's also my fault, because, I abused the system, probably. That's why they did not give enough keys to me.
Oh, that was...
So sorry about that again.
You could always request additional batches as you go through them. But
I think that's what he's saying.
Well,
Steam,
they were denied.
How Steam's key system now works is they will agree or deny based on what they think you're using them for.
Right, got it. Anyway, so what's up with this business partner? We're guessing it's not Spunk.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay. So describe this person for us.
Well, he was just a guy I've met on the internet when I was, 12 or something. Like, he was just a friend of my father. And
oh dear.
That's why I trusted him in the first place. That was a huge mistake.
So he was an internet friend of your father's, or did your father know him in real life?
Well, my father met him from the internet, and and he made us to trust himself. So we trusted him, but he was an untrustworthy man.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So, like, was the key, like, what was going on at the time? Like, you said that you trusted him, so did he have back-end Steamworks access to Sullen? Did you enter a business relationship with him when you launched Sullen?
Like, actually, when I was working for my, university studies, he was the only one, like, he knew, like, some software development and things, like, he knew the Steam interface, so I gave him my account. Because,
Oh.
You gave him your Steam
like,
account.
yeah. Because I was a kid, literally. I was dumb.
So remind me again, how old were you when you launched Sullen?
When they launched, I think I was 15 or 16.
Wow. Again, that's actually pretty good considering. But yeah, that's a little tender in the years department for someone. You actually had to have someone 18 or older.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
sure
now
exactly
18.
where you are from the accent. But you should. You had to have somebody 18.
Sign the agreement.
Years of age to sign the contracts.
Yeah, that's why, like, my dad signed them, mostly. The main thing, the name was mine, but the signing from the, the contracts, the V8 or something, like, I'm not living in the US, so I'm paying taxes in different way, things. My father did the most legal stuff.
Right, so you mainly entrusted your dad to manage a lot of the finances of, like, the game itself and the taxes.
Well, yeah. At the signing, yes, but, like, I worked for, publishing the game in a part-time job or something like that. And yeah, that was greenlight. Back then, the game was greenlit. And
Yeah,
So,
it
like,
was cheap.
everyone here remembers Greenlight very fondly now.
Oh, yeah.
We thought it was garbage at the time, but we remember it very fondly now.
I'm curious, so there was your father obviously doing the finances and the business end. There was this friend of your father's who you trusted and then did you dirty. And then there was Spunk. Was that the full team?
Wait, I couldn't understand. Sorry about that.
It's okay. There was you, there was Spunk, there was your dad, and there was your dad's friend. Was that the entire team?
Well, yeah, actually, the front end was me and Spock, just like my father was just on the
Back-end
paper.
stuff.
And I gave my account after the release to my father's friend, which is the piece of shit guy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry about
No,
language.
you're okay.
You're okay.
No, we're good. We're good. We're okay. So that actually gives us a fairly good. That's good for a 30,000 foot overview. I think it's probably about what we have to have here. What was this? Okay. The other thing that I was really interested in is this crypto locker virus. What the hell was that about?
Well, that was like something like the electronic bill things were, newly introduced in Turkey, and my father, received an email about this electronic bills thing, like online bills thing. You're using the internet, and well, why should not this work? So he downloaded it and ran it, but it was a bloody virus, and it literally encrypted all of the office computers. Like, my computer was in the office, his computer in the office. Like, it spread through the all network. With one modem, we were connecting to one router. So every bloody computer was infected, and all files were encrypted. So my father lost probably about 20,000 Turkish liras because of that virus.
Holy crap!
Oh.
That's not a small number.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. just to circle back to a point that was previously made, I know that the website Daily Indie Game was involved in receiving keys for Sullen. Do you know how many other websites keys were sold to by your business partner?
Well, actually, I'm trying to figure out still. Like, I'm messaging people, like, replacing keys and telling them if you have any information, please let me know. Like, because I've got, like, a random Russian website some people got from there. Like, some underground websites with, like, no SSL or something. Like, Daily Indie Game was one of the most legit ones in those stores.
Okay, so basically your business partner sold keys to Russian websites, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Or they well, I doubt they bought the keys from. Wow, I still want to know where 40,000 keys was even a thing.
Well, he made a tactic. Like, he requested 2,000 after 3,000 after 4,000 after 2,000, like that, partly.
And plus, I was speaking to a couple of users that I knew had been affected by this, and they said that they got their keys over 2.5 years ago. They got it back in like January 2018, which could even mean some of these keys were obtained and generated back when the Steam key renewal system was very different, where they would just have a very limited cap, unlimited cap on the
amount of keys
could generate
generated.
as well.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know that they got them in January 2018, but that isn't necessarily, like, when they were generated. They probably were generated a while before that.
Right. Which means that he has a solid buildup of keys somewhere, which are now useless.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
actually, the keys can still be sold and used, even if a game is already been taken off of
No,
Steam.
but the keys have been
Revoked.
defunct. They've
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
they've been invalidated.
Yeah, because the game's remote.
Can you?
Well, no, you canceled all those keys, and then we went through all the rest of it. But no, if there were any live keys remaining, they could still be used regardless of how long it's been.
Right.
I've done this a couple times.
If there were live ones, yeah, but he's revoked the 40,000 batch that this guy has tried to push over to these sites.
Right. And you don't necessarily have to give us a exact number, but ballpark it. How many keys were ultimately revoked?
Probably, like, wait, did you ask me?
Yes.
Yeah, how many
Yeah.
active
Okay,
keys
so
were revoked?
I don't know. I thought you asked someone else. Why should you? Sorry about that.
Okay.
So, probably, like, 38,000, probably.
38,000. Do you know how many of them were used? Do you have, like, access to a dashboard that says, like, if any were redeemed or not?
Actually, like, 38,000 probably redeemed out of 40,000. Like,
So 2,000. So 2,000 keys were not used.
yeah, I revoked them too. So the system did actually. I did not. I uploaded the keys. They automatically revoked all.
Okay. There was a discussion on Steam gifts that ultimately suggested that there was at least one giveaway involved on Steam gifts. Are you aware that people may look for keys for cheap just to do a giveaway on them?
Well, I don't think I did understand the question that much. Sorry about that.
Okay. Let me here, Sanji, you allow me.
Okay.
Sometimes people will actually buy blocks of keys strictly for the purposes of doing giveaways of some way, shape, or fashion.
Okay. I think I understand the question. Sorry for interrupt.
Oh,
So,
okay.
You're saying, like, do you think that's appropriate?
Well, no. What I'm saying is,
He was asking if you were aware that that was a thing that happens.
yeah.
It was more. Were
I
you
don't
aware
think
if-
so.
Yeah.
Like, you know, well, maybe like after the bloody guy leaked the keys, maybe some people both and did that, but the leaker's main thing was probably hurt me. I like he was, you know, got some things, personal things with my father, and probably he wanted to hurt him and leak the keys because of that. I don't think he just want to make a giveaway or something. But maybe people bought the keys want to do that. I don't know.
Here's one thing that I'm a little bit confused by. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Ratchet, but I am
Right.
curious about this. So
Yeah, go.
the obviously, like I said, the Steam users that were saying to me that they got their keys back in January 2018, but you've only revoked them now. Like, how did you find out about this? How
Like-
did it go unnoticed for 2.5 years?
After like he said, I can't check your game anymore. Like 1 year ago, I think. And I said, okay, so no problem. And he literally disappeared.
So you
And
haven't
after
heard from him
that-
from a year.
Well, I was studying because I couldn't like. I was studying so hard actually for the language things, and I was working at the same time, and like I couldn't have time to check anything on the Steam, my game, because you know it was just kind of a little bit like achievement for me for the life, because nobody really bought the game, and this from Steam, because I never received so much money from it, and I never thought why this is happening, why I'm not gaining money, because I never wanted to gain money from it. I just wanted to share my game with people. Look at this, I made a game. I'm 15.
If I may.
And- Okay.
Well, this actually sounds like your standard 17-year-old that's under the usual crush of homework and trying to get into college. This sounds like every 17-year-old ever. I was certainly that way.
Yeah.
Well,
So it sounds to me like you had a priority problem and Steam was just not on the radar anywhere.
well, it is now. Thanks to you.
I
Okay.
bet.
Okay. That segue into our next point of discussion. You released a store page for a game called Capital in like 24 hours after you revoked the keys.
Yeah.
Why? Please tell us the story behind this game.
Actually, like that, like after, like before, for like I think 3 or 4 months. I don't remember the exact dates. I wanted to start developing a new game. After I finished studying, like I said, yeah, that's enough for language. I wanted to make another game and a remake to Sullen at the same time, because I knew this game was shitty because it was a bloody Sullen, like it was literally a Slenderman ripoff. Like,
Oh, I
and
see.
I wanted to make something original and wanted to preserve the team, so I wanted to do a second game at the same time. Like I wanted to run 2 projects at the same time, so I started developing them. And after 3 months of the development things, like some things happened, like the pandemic things happened. I moved my PC from my father's office to my home, and I didn't have like access to internet for some time. Like the big band villages, at least I had my mobile net, but it was not that enough. So I couldn't check that. And after 3 months, I decided to make a discount on my game, because like I was working on a remake and I was going to publish an event, like an announcement, like I'm working on a remake of this game. So after I made a discount, I wanted to give my friends some keys. So when I decided to request some keys from Steam, I saw those 4,000 keys like requested, and I didn't do that. Like, who did that? I thought to myself. I asked to myself, and I, like, as a instant decision, I revoked them all because well, I didn't not requested them.
It was a knee jerk reaction on the key revocation, as far as I can gather. Does anybody get the same vibe?
Sanji, how about you let the man finish the sentence first?
Sorry. my apologies. Go on.
Actually, I paid the money for it after the revocation of the keys. I don't know what Steam DB page shows. I'm not sure, but I can. I can't remember the exact day, but I remember that I paid after the revocation for the capital game, because I revoked that, and I was getting ready to announce the 2 projects to people, and after I paid money for the capital, somebody just write a message to my Steam page, Steam profile. Why did you revoke my key? It was Stefan 8000, if I remember correctly. And I explained things to him. Then, literally, people, the messages were raining in the discussions. Why did you revoke my key? Developer revoked my key. Actually, some guy just created a new discussion headline, as I say, a discussion topic, and people were commenting on them. And I couldn't get it. I never thought that people would react that way. I would not do that if, I could oversee that.
That kind of behavior does actually tend to annoy people. Knee-jerk reactions don't do well.
Can I just ask, Frantic, if you put yourself in the shoes of someone that's just bought their game, might be from a third party, say it might even be through one of the legitimate ones, because it has happened before with IndieGala or Fanatical or something like that. If you bought your key from there and then you paid for it with actual money, and then it just gets removed, would you not be annoyed by that because you've spent money on this?
Yes, I know. I would be annoyed. So I was so, like I said, it was a reckless decision. I did not those keys. I panicked literally. Why 4,000? 40,000, not 4,000. 40,000 keys were stolen. I panicked. What should I do? And the main thing that I could think about was revoking them. And I thought, what happened? And it was all happened, so I couldn't fix anything that much, so people were mad at me, and I don't know. I'm just sorry. Seriously, it was just a reckless decision, I know. It was my...
But another thing confused about... Oh, sorry, you just bugged out there for me. I was just saying before, with Capital, you launched it under F-Dream. I don't remember, was it FD End, the name?
Yes.
Yeah. So you launched that under FD End, and then Sullen at the time was still launched under Frantic Dreamer. I know that you said that it was the name change that you stated it was because of you finally got the rights to use FD End or something like that as a Steam name, but you don't necessarily need certain rights to just list a developer alias or anything like that. You only need that when you're listing for an LLC or something like that. You don't need the right to just post up FD End, because I could literally just go on and then say I'm releasing a game on Steam and I want to list it under Mellow End. I don't need to go through any business filings or anything like that for it.
Actually, I know that, but I was not going to use FD End, but my father said when my 18th birthday, he was knowing my game things, he signed the files, of course, the documents. So he said you can, you can be So I forgot the word. I'm gonna check translate. Sorry about that. I'm gonna take 1 second from you.
Yeah, you're all right.
Okay, you can institutionalize yourself. Like, you at least it will show you bigger. Like, people will trust you more. Like, I thought, what should I choose as a name? And I just chose the Frantic Dreamer Entertainment. And it was too long, so I just wrote FDN. So that was it.
So
like,
wait, hold on.
I knew, like, I'm not need to, like, 18 to use that, or I need to use an corporate name for releasing game. No, I know that, but I just wanted to use a, institutionalized name for myself. Like, that's just it. Just a simple wish thing.
An institutionalized name.
Yeah.
Would you be able to, like, see from the perspective of someone from the outside looking in, where if you've just revoked a bunch of keys, there's a bunch of people angry at you in their forums, and then you launch a new game under a new name that isn't linked with Sullen? Would you be able to understand people saying that you might just be doing that to hide your involvement?
Well, actually, if I wanted to hide my involvement, I would not post an event with my original account. Like, I actually wanted to people to, like, know the true story. Like, I seriously panicked. That's what I say. Like, I released the game actually, and I chose the FDN's name before the revocation thing. But what should you do if you were instead of me? Would you just for the people on Zend, just discard your FDN name and use a Frantic Dreamer for your new game? Like, I was planned to do that, but some things were out of rail. But I was trying to make things that's in rail just stay in rail. That was just what I was trying to do. But I don't know, people. If you understood wrong, I can just make everything Frantic Dreamer or FDN. What do you?
No, actually,
Okay,
believe
I'm
it or
ready
not,
to do that.
I think you've actually taken the right approach here. Because you're still that name still connects you to the earlier project. The only thing I would say at this point would be to make sure this next game is really good.
Can I
Yeah.
jump in?
Actually, I have an idea. Like, after this capital, I want to, like, maybe it will be a small project, but I will make a free game to make at least people are upset, and I want to make their fury just a little bit low. Like, I want to make them a little bit less furry, so I will release a free game when I have time. So, yeah, I will try to do things. I don't know.
Can I just hop back in real quick?
Sure thing.
Yeah. So just going back to what Croc was saying and what you were saying before, one thing that I don't understand is, I disagree with Croc. I don't think that the FDN name is associated enough with the original Frantic Dreamer one. You were saying that you posted the event under the Frantic Dreamer name to keep association with Sullen, but to me that doesn't make any sense personally, because, like, why would you put an event up with your Frantic Dreamer name? Why, if you're so about like the association sort of thing, why did you not put the FDN Steam username on?
Well, actually, I did just create a second account as an FDN, but, like, think about the, Apple, but name was not Apple. It was Steve Jobs Electronics. Think about that. It's just that I'm still Frantic Dreamer, but the main name is the FDN. I'm still Frantic Dreamer. The FDN is a different thing.
But, like, one thing that I, like, continuously push for is transparency, in a way. And I'm always for people looking into the games that they buy. I'm always for, like, people understanding what they're about to invest in. And it's sort of like, if you've put the FDN name and the Frantic Dreamer as two separate ones, you've sort of cut people's chances off of finding out about the history. And you said that you intentionally used the Steam account Frantic Dreamer in the events for people to find to look into that. Like, again, that doesn't add up to me. What's with the mindset of using your personal Steam profile, Frantic Dreamer, and then expecting people to look into that Steam profile?
No,
On
I'm
that
not
note,
trying to look like if you people would see my game and just click on a one event, they will see my Frantic Dreamer name. That it's not so they need to just check my profile and that FDN was not I thought the people would understand FDN Frantic Dreamer. That was just an obvious thing, and if I should not think that because I'm a young boy, I'm not that knowing things, but I'm not that wise. But I thought the people would get that. I don't know. I'm just too.
what you can do
One
is,
thing.
and you've been able to do this through Steam for ages, is change the publisher and developer, add and remove publishers and developers. So, alrighty. So for a form of transparency, I don't see why you wouldn't put the other developer in there. Be like, A and B rather than just A, and be like, well, if you want to go to this place, then you can see the other stuff I've done, because that's just, people don't do that. We all know people don't do that. We don't do that. You could it's like comparing the companies Dell and Alienware. Alienware is Dell, but you wouldn't know that unless you actually went and did research on it, and most people aren't going to do research on that kind of thing. They don't pay that much attention. They just see something they like and buy it. And I think, personally, by switching out the developer names, it's doing something, and I know some companies do this, AAA companies do this, where they just instead of being like THQ, they call it what the old company used to be called, and it would disassociate the project from enough that it doesn't show them as being bad, not bad actors, but it's like, yeah, we worked on this thing, but we didn't work on this thing if you don't research that we worked on this thing. So I'm just confused and kind of wondering why you didn't just chuck the other name into the publisher alongside your name and post maybe something in the forum saying, hey, I'm changing the names or something like that.
Well, actually, because in the Sullen, I thought if I said that, people would not people would act like never look to the capital, but they will look to the Sullen and go swear to the capital, because the capital is the same daughter from the Frantic Dreamer. But if people would see the capital is made by Frantic Dreamer, but the Sullen is also made by Frantic Dreamer, that will be a better first impression. The people saw the Sullen's developer name, Frantic Dreamer, but if the capital was a new game, I thought people would remember the game with that name. So if I put Frantic Dreamer as a publisher and FDN as a developer, I'm just giving an example, people would, kind of make things. It's just for, preventing misassumptions things.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I meant by combining them and being published by A but developed by B. It's us, but it's us doing something different.
Okay,
Continue, Sanji.
Let's see, let's circle back to, Spunk for a second. Spunk had an achievement in the game.
Yeah.
why was it removed?
Because I forgot to put it in the game before I lost the files.
Ah, I see.
What about Spunk as a developer?
Well, he was a developer, but he said he was older than me, like a couple of years, and he is now working in a job, and he said he could not check the community and check the game anymore before the revocation thing. So when I had access to the game website, I just remembered his name because he kind of requested it. But I did not remove the. Well, I can't actually. The profile background is just a tribute to him actually.
Right, but you and Spunk are still on good terms.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else we needed to cover?
Actually, I kind of want to ask another kind of a follow up here. Are you saying that Spunk took a job in the industry, and and I'm guessing if so, I'm guessing it was an NDAs to keeping him away from the Sullen and any other projects?
No, he's not in the industry. He's in. He's probably, if I remember correct, he was working as a translator in the Germany. If he told
Yeah,
me.
that takes an excessive amount of time, and his positioning is it would be kind of irregular in terms of scheduling. So I can imagine why he'd want to back off of that and make sure he doesn't actually screw things up at work. Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Let's see here. Any other notes? Oh, one. I think I have one other question. Can you please elaborate on why you locked all the Steam discussion forums?
Well, I did not lock all. Like I probably about key revocations are unlocked, but the other ones were just like, weird. Like they were just, oh, this is a Slenderman copy. Oh, how did you know? Oh my god. Like,
No,
it was just pointless arguments. Like,
okay, let me clarify for a second. If you look at the Steam discussion forums on the community page, any as of now, anyone with a copy of Sullen can go into that community hub and see the discussion forums.
okay.
Until very recently, I have discovered that they have a lock on all of the old discussion forums, except for two. And those threads were until retirement and help with achievements. It was at my insistence that I got you to unlock the key revoked thread.
I unlocked the key revoked. Actually, I locked the key revoked thread accidentally. Sorry about that. And I forgot to lock the help with achievements thread. So it was sold.
All right. Anything else, gentlemen?
I would like to. It's not necessarily a question. Well, actually, I've got a couple more things to say, but it's neither of them are questions. This was one. I've said this before when I've talked about instances like this because I do very much think Frantic, with all due respect on it, but you have admitted this yourself. You are inexperienced and you do regret what you've done when you were handling the key revocations, and it's for this reason. And it's happened before. It's why I think that Steam need for the key revocation system not to be something instantaneous. I can understand the benefits of being instantaneous, but it's doing a lot of harm. It needs to be a review process, I think. I think the developer needs to send the batch of keys over to Valve saying, I want these revoked, give the reason, and then Valve need to manually look over it and then be like, okay, that's a justified reason, let's go and handle it. Or if it's not a justified reason, or they think a beginner developer's about to make a mistake, they can then communicate and advise with them on why it's a bad idea and why they shouldn't be doing it. And there's the second thing is I do just want to read something that Stephanie 8000 put in the chat. just to make you feel a little bit better, Frantic. He did say, need to go now. Thank you, and thank you, Frantic Dreamer, for answering all the questions. I find it great that you are doing this. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
So, do you have any final statements, Mr. Dreamer?
Well, I don't know. I hope people will forgive me. Like I was young. I was like, I did reckless things, and I'm like sorry. I regret so much things, but I think I can like fix those things. At least just aid them. Maybe I can't fix them, but I will just try to make the people are less angry. Like, I believe I can do that in the future, but I can just hope them to forgive me now. Well, I don't know.
Or at least a little bit of forbearance.
Well, actually,
Yes.
I thought like I think I learned so much things after the Sullen. Like, I worked for like level design, and I started learning C++, and I think I can do better things than the Sullen. It was just my, first project, and I think I can do better things, and people will like it. I believe that, and yeah, that's all for now, I think.
Well, I'm gonna say good luck and Godspeed. Hopefully we actually manage to get this worked out, and I'll be keeping an eye out.
I hope so.
I
And
actually went and bought a copy of the Sullen after you revoked the keys. You
yes,
said you were going to take the game off of Steam. Probably a smart idea one way or the other. It really isn't very good.
Well, actually, I thought about making the game free, like free to claiming, but then the people would really pay from the Steam, and like I thought that after the farewell message was posted, and the people who bought this game for it's going to be removed, I need to have this in my collection, would be angry. Like that would be a messed up. So I just stopped doing things, because when I touched something, I was breaking it, so I stopped touching things, and yeah, that just happened. Sullen is no more.
So you were saying that you were working in like C++ and you were working on like your knowledge around that. Is that going to help you like develop more games in Unity and just sort of like prosper on beyond Sullen?
Well, I won't work on Unity Engine anymore because it's limited and things. I'm working on Unreal Engine for now.
Yeah, C++ works in Unreal Engine. Unity uses C#.
Yeah, I know that. I'm not dumb.
Well, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm just the one that may not actually know. Be that watcher or panel member, because I know at least one of us hasn't actually tried working in those. At least I don't think he has.
I have not.
So yeah, no, C++ is actually a reasonably good choice. I recommend that you get a little bit of JavaScript in you too. Especially if you're planning on working in Unreal, because you're gonna want a little bit of that.
Unreal 4 doesn't use.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I just have to do this. Unreal 4 does not use JavaScript. It uses C++ and Blueprints. And
see, even I don't know everything.
Nobody said anything about JavaScript.
nobody does.
Actually,
Nobody does.
no,
yeah, Croc did.
JavaScript will still not hurt you.
It will if you're not a web dev. If you're doing game design, you're doing JavaScript, then you're doing something wrong. Anyway.
JavaScript. Who uses JavaScript now?
Web designers.
Oh, okay.
It's actually he's correct. It's mostly web design, although there are a couple of engines that do like it.
I don't.
Yeah. Unity
I don't
doesn't
like
even
it
use
either.
it anymore.
One last question before we go. Suppose I present to you this scenario. You revoked the keys, and you had I don't remember how much of a discount it was. I think it was 75% off discount. Mello?
Yeah.
And okay, let me open this up to the panel then. Do you think it's well intended that if you revoked all the keys, you offer a replacement key for free, as in giving away a copy of the game for free, and those who want it can still get it?
Okay, Sanji, you missed a thing here.
Okay.
Number one, they didn't give him enough keys to replace all the ones that got
No.
She's just talking about this broadly, generally, like this practice in general, not necessarily applying to Frantic here.
I think
Okay.
this is a round table.
Yeah, that's why I opened it up with the panel.
Yeah.
Well, replacing keys that have been revoked accidentally is probably not a bad idea. If it is possible, and generally, for what it sounds like, a number that large, it's just not.
Yeah, that's why I was talking about giving away a copy of the game for free.
Okay, what I would suggest at this time, before you drop it, has it already dropped off of Steam at this point? Can we get back? Does the store page still exist?
As far as I know,
it exists, but it's
Frantic?
not showing up on search results, so it's hidden, but you can still access it through a link.
Right.
Okay, Frantic. I'm going to make a suggestion for you. Put up another event. Hold the page up for about a week, and put it down for 100% discount.
I don't think you can do that.
Nah, you can't. Well, you can't buy it anymore. The purchase has been disabled.
I think Valve would not allow that, because like I cannot hide or show the page. I messaged the Valve about like in the 22 June, hide my game. Like I actually said retire my game, and they did that. And there's not much that I can do anymore. I think, I don't know.
If I can offer like an alternative, because like I've seen a lot of these cases happen before. There's a lot of developers that do just hold a lot of spite. I remember there was a game called Lot 2 where the developer had revoked the key, said he would do something, and then just completely removed the store page and abandoned the internet, and he didn't communicate at all with them. I think you've shown a wish to like fix your wrongs. You've even admitted that it was wrong to revoke them in the first place so quickly without informing yourself about where the keys came from, how these people got the keys, if they stole them, if they got them through legitimate means, etc. I think it's just beneficial for you. I'm not too sure how much you can continue with this though, since the store page is down. But you put out a notice saying if people contact you via this email address with a receipt saying that you did buy this game, then you will reimburse the key. I think that's decent enough. Obviously, it's better if the keys just didn't get revoked at all, because it's still obviously making users jump through hoops. But it's not nothing. It's still offering them an alternative way if they are willing to just get in contact with you and say, hey dude, my key's been revoked, can you give me a new one? Then you can just be like, sure, yeah, here you go. I think that's like one of the better ways to go about doing it. I know that there was one developer that went through the way that Croc was describing, where they did just put the game on. I don't remember if it was 100% discount or they just made it free to play entirely, but there was a side-scrolling shooter that did that as well. So like there's multiple ways that it can just be like made up to the community.
I'm not actually sure the community would be that upset if you made the game free to play.
No.
Well, I thought about that, but I thought this after the removing things. Like after I decided to remove the game from Steam, like retire the game in the Steam, I thought about making it free, but after I thought making it free, I thought about people who would buy that because it's going to be removed. So the Grave, if you know Grave, I hate him. I want to say that. In the bloody community, I hate just one guy. He's the Grave. He does not understand anything.
Oh, then, there's always one of those guys. Come on. There's always one.
Like, he just says me, scammer and liar. Nothing else. He just copies and pastes every message. He just says same thing. I'm just going to be insane.
Frantic, you're getting frantic. Chill. There's all in every community there is one guy that does this. I've got a couple of them myself. Mostly I ignore them and they fuck off.
I did
Okay,
that.
so just
Okay, so sorry about that.
don't respond to him. Don't take him personally. He's just annoyed to be. He's being annoying to be annoying, and he's trying to bait you. Don't take it.
It's like the minute you do take stuff personally, it does just fuel a lot of people online as well, because like they'll see what they're doing is getting to.
Yeah, that is why I hesitated when I bought the game at that 75% discount. I was fully intending to do a review. I still am, but I wanted to hear what you had to say first before I made a judgment.
Actually, I was thinking about like putting at least 100 or 90% discount on like until the retirement, but I was set the discount before the K revocation thing to that date. So that's why I could not do anything. Like it was set before that, and Steam does not allow you to put some discount after like 30 days or 15 days. I can't remember. So that's why I could not change the discount.
All right. Does anyone else have anything else? That's the question.
Just the way, and there's like tons of ways that you can like improve the community's perception of you. There was a lot of ways that you can do that. I'm not going to say yours was the worst. I think you definitely did handle it. In regards to the keys getting invoked, you handled it adequately. I'd say you were obviously reaching out to users and all that. It just goes to show there are ways that you can appropriately handle the situation. Obviously, again, I'll reiterate, it's bad that it happened in the first place, but trying to make amends is like the second best thing.
Right. And with you launching a new game, Capital, it's a good first step. I'll put it that way.
And make it a nice launch discount.
Right.
Make
Yeah,
it sound like,
I will.
make it sound like you're being really super generous.
Yeah, so clock and buy it.
What?
Nothing.
Give Croc a key.
Speaking of, how long is it going to be before Capital's ready for business?
When is the release of Capital, Frantic?
Well, I really don't know. Like, when it ends, probably when it's finished, I will release it. Like, actually, first of all, I'm just one guy. I will use assets. I'm gonna say that because I'm just one guy. I cannot do everything. I'm just like, I know programming just a little bit, and I learned some C++, and I've made my custom blueprint notes for the Capital. I'm making those things. I think I'm, taking some steps in that, and
I would be
the game. Okay. Sorry.
As a guy working by yourself, if you're doing the 3D work, I'd be surprised if you're not going to use at least some. Just make sure you do something creative with them, okay?
Right.
Yeah, I will.
All right.
Like, I will try to work on the level design because the assets are just already ready because I cannot edit them. Actually, I can edit textures, but I'm not talking about that. Like in the main genres, so I need to make the level design. I know I need to make the level design good, so the people would ignore the assets are bots. So I think I can do that. It will be just a little bit overthinking for now, but I think I could handle that. I think people will like that. And I believe myself. Don't worry, I won't disappoint you.
Okay. We'll hold you to that.
Some of us actually live stream review games, so yeah.
Some of us. No one in particular.
Yeah.
Huh?
Someone, no one in particular.
You know what? I'm not going to toot my own horn.
Yeah, sure.
More than one of us is capable
you're
of
not.
doing it.
Just violently toots horn. Oh, I'm not gonna toot my own horn.
Oh, I crashed. Shit.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
What do you think about my accent?
I'm actually, funnily enough, I'm having a difficult time placing where it came from.
It's very British.
Yes, and I'm not. It sounds kind of South-ish, but I couldn't tell you where your teacher's from.
I'm Turkish.
Well, that part I knew. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Remember, you gave us monetary units. I know where you're actually from. I just don't know where your English teacher's from.
Well, I don't have an English teacher. I just walked myself. I just watched some. What I studied so much, my brain hurts, and I think I did a good job.
Yeah, you managed to confuse the shit out of me, and that's rare.
It's more common than you think.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to open up to the panel for final thoughts, and we will get out of your hair, chat, and
If you have hair.
yeah,
Who knows?
who knows?
Some of us do. Some may not. But some of us do.
You don't know shit about me.
We will get out of your hair for the rest
Wait,
of the
I want
day.
to say something. My profile picture is actually looking like me. Like I made this in the AZ3D and just extracted the face from the blender. There was a face making add-on new that came on. Like I put my photo and just made the adjustments, and that happened. That looks like. If you wonder how I look like, look at my profile photo.
If Discord will cooperate.
I thought I recognized the dulcet tones of Face Shop there.
I mean, if
Well-
Discord will allow me to cooperate.
I can send just an image if you want.
Nah,
We're good.
we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, Discord's not cooperating.
Oh well.
That's why I don't expect Discord to cooperate with anybody for any reason.
Right.
If it doesn't want to, and it's not going to.
Anyway, I have been Saji Himura. Say goodbye, panel.
Goodbye.
Now.
And we will see you guys on the next